But check the lesson right now.
All right, Con.
You can hear us. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, audio is fine. Audio is good.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom.
I'm gonna fix this. I don't want this.
You want to hang it?
Yeah.
Hey, shalom to the brother you want a thon. Hey, shalom malak, brakathon, you and household beloved. Whoever hopping on to the brothers, can you let me know is the audio to Wa Baba Kasha?
I just checked it.
It's good?
Yeah,
okay,
it's good.
I
I just checked it.
All right, about to get started. Just 1 second.
Just like it.
All right, about to get started. Just 1 second. Bear with us. Checking the feed. All right, Con, the water. All right, you can step up a little too, below. All right. Okay, so we about to get started. We're already facing the east. We're gonna give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rahakadash. Hey, honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth with all truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim on the highway and hedges, making your body a living sacrifice according to Romans 12 and verse 1. And also shalom to you sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, brakatham, and as always, Abba Babal, DTA, Death to America. All right, back out here on the highways and the hedges with the beloved brother Amoth. All right,
Shalom.
And myself, I'm Zakar Bond. So we about to get started in just 1 second. Bear with us. See, get a few things pulled up. All right.
Where do you want me to start at?
Yeah. We're gonna start in the book of Sirach 10, verse 1. You need a apocrypha? Or you good?
Yeah, I got mine. So
okay,
I gotta get a new sword though.
All right.
Page is falling out.
I'll get there with you. Okay, so bear with us. All right, Sunday altar. You got
Come. So book of Sirach, the 10th chapter and the first verse, and it reads, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered."
All right, a wise judge. Okay, now who will be a wise judge? Them that are of the house of David, spearheaded by Yahweh Shai, right? Second in command is King David. The kingdom of heaven right here on earth. The book of Matthew, all right, chapter 6 and on down. Go ahead.
Gone. As the judge of the peoples is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
All right, such are all they that dwell therein. So this is why we see how things is so upside down. Okay, it's not by mistake. It's not just because Trump is ruling, but ultimately because all the Edomites is in power. Trump is what I like to call a nothing but a mascot, right? He's nothing but a puppet. Okay, which is the real people that run this world today is what you would call the so-called Illuminati, right? They are the ones that's doing things on the left-hand side. Those are the ones, the Ish peoples, Amalek, the big, the big nose, big nose with the small hats on their head. You got it?
Gone. The book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, the 3rd verse, and it reads, "An unwise king destroyed."
So like read verse 2 one more time.
I got you. The book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, and the 2nd verse, and it reads, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein."
Con. All right, so let's grab this. Bear me 1 second as I get there. Let's go to the book of, you can hold that out. I'm gonna grab this myself. Let's go to the book of, see if I can find it. If I can't, it's all good. Go ahead, I can't find it, it's all good.
Come. The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 3, and it reads, "An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited."
Right, the city shall be inhabited. A wise, read it one more time, Bob Kashar.
God, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in the authority, the city shall be inhabited.
The city shall be inhabited. All right. And this is what? An unwise king. Okay. Now check this out. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3, should be verse 12. All right. Because who's the unwise king? Once again, Esau, Edom. This is his kingdom. Right. So when we read the scriptures, the two main characters in the Bible is Jacob and Esau. As it says, as brothers read all the time, 2nd Hedges, right, chapter 6, verse 9, Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of it, that follow it. Right, so let me grab this in the book of Isaiah, should be chapter 3.
I got one for you too.
All right, calm. This is Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 11, and it reads, "Woe unto the wicked! It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him." Here's the point. Verse 12, Isaiah 3 and verse 12. "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Children are their oppressors. Now, who are the children that's ruling? Now, this is likened to who? Esau, Edom. Okay? Because what's going on? The base man is the one that's ruling, right? The caveman. Okay, they got cartoons like the Flintstones, which are alluded to them. "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Let this pass. Bear with us 1 second, let's pass. Okay, let's read this again. And it says, "And women rule over them." Everything is upside down. And one of the things that's, what's going on while women are ruling, why? Because this damn devil is in power, as we're going to get into in this lesson. Okay? Which is all, which all the will of Yahweh by Shem Al Shai, but that's what's going on. That's why women are ruling, because once again, Esau, Edom is averse to the ways of Yahweh, what Yahweh Shai, he's Shaitan. Okay? Everything is opposite. "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy past," the way of thy past. All right, our ways is to keep the ways of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the commandments that was given to us from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Right? You got it, King.
Gone. A precept for the Sirach 10 and 3rd verse is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2, and it reads,
Yep.
"When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice." The righteous would be the people of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, right? We are not in authority right now. Soon to be, when we're back in our rightful steed, and the Lord has came back and done away with the heathen, we'll be back in our rightful steed. The world will be rejoicing because we'll be led by righteousness, right? All the laws will be in order and
right.
Pertain to the ordinance, right? But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, right? So
Beautiful.
these people stay mourning and they languish because the people that's ahead of us are wicked, right? They like the brother said earlier, they flip the ordinances where they got women ruling or other laws, or most of the laws are going against what the Lord said, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said in Sirach 10 and 3.
Go ahead. You got it.
"As an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in their authority, the city shall be inherited." This unwise king is destroying his people, and that's why we're in the state that the America's in the state that they're in.
That's right. All right, read a little bit more to see what we can get.
God, "The people of the earth is in the hand of the Lord of Hadawan."
Hold on, I'll read it again. It said the power.
That's like it's like it.
Yep.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4, "And the power of the earth is in the hand of Hadawan."
Right,
and
the power of the earth. Okay. Now, like I was alluding to, right, the power. So these people that are ruling today are what? Esau, Edom, but this, although they're in power, all this is given to them by the way of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Why? Because this is fulfilling his will. Okay, this is to show us what happens when you live wickedly. America is going to be what you call a monument of what happens when you live wickedly. Now read that again.
God, the book is I'm not that fast.
Yeah, you got it.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4, and it reads, "And the power of the earth is in the hand of Hadawan, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand of the power is his prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices.
All right, so Laki, read verse 4 once again, Baba Kushah.
God.
Sirach 10 and verse 4 once again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4, and it reads,
Yep.
The power of the earth is in the hand of Ha'ad, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
All right, one that is profitable. Now, I was alluding to the fact that the power, all right, that's given, that's given to Esau Edom is going to be made an example of what happens when you live wickedly. Now, let me grab this real swift in the book of Jude. It's only one chapter in verse 7. So this is what happens when you live contrary to the ways of the Heavenly Father and His Son. This is Jude, only one chapter in verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. All right. So they was what? It was, they rose to power just to be an example of what happens when you live wickedly, when you live contrary. Let's read it in the NLT. And don't forget Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, which were filled with immorality, and every kind of sexual perverseness. Those cities were destroyed by fire and serve as a warning of the eternal fire of the Most High judgment. Now, the place of Sodom and Gomorrah is not, still on fire, but ultimately it was never the same ever again, right? That's what, so that's why I said it looked for as an example, okay? You got it.
This is the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter and the first verse. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So as a brother, paraphrased earlier, saying the Lord has set the bases of men above men, bases of men above men. The Lord is in complete control, and everything that's going on is because the Lord is granting it and allowing it and wanting it to happen.
That's right. Okay, so let's drop that. Let's go to the book of Sirach 18. Right. Go a little too more of that power. Unless you got something.
Nah.
All right, you got
18 and 1 or?
Yeah, we'll start 18 and verse 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 1, and it reads, He that liveth forever created all things in general.
Yep. He that lived forever had created all things in general. Speaking about who? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh. He the one that created everything in general. Let's pass by. All right. So the Heavenly Father created everything in general. Why? For His purpose. So everything it does has a reason of why, it exists. Okay. It's not just by mistake, right? Having evil and having good is necessary. Why could the Most High do things 2 and 2? So read it again, Bob Kushah.
Time. The book of Sirach, chapter 18, in the first verse, and it reads, He that liveth forever created all things in general.
Keep on.
Time. And Ha'ad only is righteous, and there is none other but He, who governeth the world with the palm of His hand, and all things obey His will.
Right. Hold on. Yep, who govern all things in the palm of His hand, everything obey His will. Right, real quick, even Yahweh Shah himself said that what? Okay, He come to do the will of His Father. All right, so I want to touch on this real swift, where it says, read verse 1 again in Sirach 18 and verse 1, Baba Shah.
Time. The book of Sirach, the 18th chapter, and the first verse, and it reads, He that liveth forever created all things in general.
Right, that created all things in general. Now I was making a quick point as far as saying that everything is necessary. Having evil, having good, right? Why? Because the Most High does things in balance, does things 2 and 2. So this is Sirach, chapter 33. Should be Sirach 33. Bear with me 1 second. That should be it. Sirach, can go down. Sirach 33 in verse 14. And it says, good is set against evil. All right? Good is set against evil. Who is good? Jacob. Who is evil? Esau. All right? And really the elect of Jacob. Hey, shalom to the brother Kabashana, and also shalom to the brother Yeshaya, Yahweh Shah the righteous, shalom Malaki and Brakatham to you and your household. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner. and the sinner against the godly. All right, it's always gonna be what? Conflict. It's always gonna be strife, butting heads, as they say in the world. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High. All right, so look upon all the works of the Most High. Read verse 1 once again, Baba Kashah.
God. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 1, and it reads, He that liveth forever created all things in general.
All right, create all things in general. So now when we look at everything, whether it's good or evil, even Solomon himself said that what? He went about, to loosely paraphrasing, went about to study everything, okay? Whether it was evil or good. All right, because that's showing you what? True power. So this is, so look upon all the works of the Most High, Sirach 33, verse 15. Life against, so look upon the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another, showing you the perfect balance of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And I awaked up last of all as one that gathered, okay, that's pretty much it there. But the point there was that everything is what? Done in balance with the Most High. Okay, you got it, verse 2.
Gone. Book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 2, and it reads, How the one only is righteous, and there is none other but He.
Yep. The Lord only is righteous, and there's none other but Him. Just quote it. All right. Yahweh Shai said that, call no man good but the Father. And one of the reasons why Yahweh Shai said that, matter of fact, you can grab that for me.
Gone.
You just look it up. Let me see. I got you. Yeah, but one of the reasons why the most Yahweh Shai said that is ultimately because when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, in his previous, lifetimes as Adam and Solomon, he went off. So real quick, I'm gonna grab this. You can hold that. See, bear me 1 second. Let's see. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 17, Baba Kashah. All right. Finna expound real quick, because it says that Yahweh is only righteous.
Gone. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 17, and it reads, And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the power of Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
And that's a red letter, correct?
Con, correct. Red letter.
Yeah, so that's Yahweh Shai speaking. So read that from the top, Baba Kashah.
Con, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 17, and it reads, And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
Why call thou me good? That's red lettering, right? That's Yahweh Shai speaking. All right, Yahweh Shai said that what? Why call thou me good? Now, and when Yahweh Shai came as came on the scene, he was perfect. He did not sin, but he knew it in his previous lifetimes. Once again, as Adam, right, as Solomon, that he went off. Okay, go ahead.
Come, there is none good but one, that is the power of Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Keep the commandments. So what in the hell is people talking about, right, when they say that you can pretty much do as thy wilt type of spirit, that James Crowley, right? There's no other way you can please the Most High if you are not obeying the Heavenly Father and His Son. We don't have the mindset of, by keeping all 613 laws that's gonna, bring us to perfection. But what's going on is that we are shown what obedience to the Most High by trying to keep the commandments. All right, that's more to unlike these people out here. Okay, you got it.
So righteous acts. Continue on to Sirach. Continue on Matthew.
Now we're going to continue on in Sirach 18, verse 2.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 2, and it reads, And how the one only is righteous, there is none other but He, who governeth the world with the palm of His hand.
Who governed the world with the palm of His hand. Now, grab that one that you have quoted, and man goes over the Lord. All right.
Okay, I got you.
Yep. So he got the palm of His hands. So as as we go into this lesson, right, a few things in mind as far as speaking about, the power. The powers that are ruling today is ultimately controlled by the Heavenly Father and His Son, right? Yahweh, who governed the palm of His hand. So, and then we go to that word hand, and in Hebrew, right, it goes into what? Yod, which means, power. All All right, so the powers of this world. You got it.
Gone. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 24, and it reads, "Men's goings are of Ha-Adonai Yahweh. How can a man understand his own way?"
Right? You got it. Go ahead.
John, a man's goings of the Lord. We don't control of what's going on, right? That's why, like what it says, the precept says, like in our sleep and our deep sleep, the Lord comes in and they put instructions in our ear. The Lord controls every single step that we take, right?
That's right.
So as we don't have control of what's going on.
That's right. Okay, you go back to the book of Sirach 18.
John. There's a book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 4, and it reads, like verse 3, and it reads,
Yep.
"Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by the power dividing holy things among them from profane." I got a precept for you.
Yeah, no, you got it. Go ahead.
Pull it up real quick.
Yep, I'm gonna grab this as you're getting that. But it says that what? Who govern the world with the palm of his hand. Now, as a brother getting that, let me grab this, right? Because ultimately, I had quoted it where Yahweh Shai said that what? He come not do his own will. So bear with me 1 second. All right, now I'm gonna grab your brother's precept in just 1 second. This is the book of John, chapter 6, and verse 38. Right, and it reads, Salakia, John 6 and verse 38, and it reads, red letter, Yahweh Shai speaking. Let's start at verse 37. "All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven," this is Yahweh Shai speaking, red lettering, "not to do mine own will," right? So just following back off Sirach 18 and verse 3, where it says that all things obey his will. Even Yahweh Shai, right, obeyed the Heavenly Father. It says, "For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me," which is the Heavenly Father. Okay, so that's showing you, you know, who's truly ruling, right? Which is the Heavenly Father.
I couldn't find it, but essentially going into the fact, but who has rejected the will of the Lord, saying you can't reject it. You can't do nothing for it. You can't do nothing against it, but for it.
Oh, we do not against the truth, but for the truth. Talking about?
No, I'm talking about who has ever rejected the will of the Lord. Because we're talking about the Lord. Everything obeys the will. You can't go against that will. If the Lord wants you to do, you're going to do. What you're going to get, whatever the Lord wants you to get, you're going to get.
Right. So read it again, so I can get that for you.
God. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 3, and it reads, "Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. To whom have he given power to declare his works? And who shall find out his noble acts?"
All right, and who shall find his noble acts? Go to the book of Amos, chapter 3, and verse 7. Right, and Bible Kashai, one of you brothers can grab for me the precept. You know, the precept that goes into who has rejected the will of the Most High. I'm loosely paraphrasing it, but if Bible Kashai, one of you brothers can grab it for us. Bible Kashai, all right. Who have rejected the will of the Lord. Bible Kashai.
You said Amos.
Amos 3 and verse should be verse 7.
God. So book of Amos chapter 3 verse 7, and it reads, "Surely Ha-Adonai Yahweh the power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets."
All right, and that's touching on what the brother just read in the book of Sirach 18. I'm gonna grab it once again. Hold that. Sirach 18 and verse 4. "To whom have he given power to declare his works?" All right, that's a man of the Lord. Okay, that's them that that's been what raised up. It says, "And who shall find out his noble acts?" That's them that has once had it. All right. Woo, that's beautiful. Hey, throw out to the brother Yeshaya. I'm gonna get these precepts because the brother pulled it up. All right, so read that one more time. Amos 3 and verse 7.
God. This is the book of Amos chapter 3 verse 7, and it reads, "Surely Ha-Adonai the power of Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets."
Right. So once again, this them that are being put back in remembrance. Right. All the Most High is doing now is bringing you from that dead and that slumber state that you were once in. Right. Lighten that candle of understanding in your heart. Right. Bring you from that dry state right? Ezekiel 37, you know, which goes into what the valley of the valley of dry bones. You got it. It should be Romans 9 and verse 19 at the bottom from Brother Yeshai. The water, Malak.
God. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 19, and it reads, "Thou will say, then unto me, why do he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will?" God. Wow, that was what I was looking for.
Yep, got it.
Going to the fact, because it says everything obeys the will of the one Yahweh. You can't resist it. Again, like said earlier, whatever is meant for you to understand, the Lord's going to have you understand it. Whatever is meant for you to, whatever the Lord wanted you to do, you're going to do it. All right?
That's right. So, okay, now I'll drop that and go back to the book of Sirach 18 and verse 4. Read it one more time, Bible Shah.
Con.
And then I'm going to have it for you. And also, I want you to hold 2 Peter. Matter of fact, I'll grab that one.
Con.
You got it.
There's a book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 4, and it reads, "To whom have he given the power to declare his works? His works. And who shall find out his noble acts?"
Now, like I was saying, that's them that have always had the truth, right? You are standing in thy lot, the same way the Most High told Daniel what? Stand in thy lot at the last day, okay? So your lot, which goes to your position, does not change. You come back doing the same thing over and over again. Bible Shah, bear with us 1 second, let's pass by. Salakia. Got a train right here, so kind of drowns out. Now, like I was saying, the Most High put you up back in remembrance. So real quick, this is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 12. It said, "Wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though you know them," right? Because once again, we know this. This is why when you're growing up, there's something about you, right? You got some type of connection to the Most High. Not everyone can say that. All you gotta do is hear a man, a brother preaching by the way of the internet, YouTube, or you may call him Council Camp, and then something happens, right? You get lit, right? That light of understanding. Remember some of these things that though you know them and be established in the present truth, all right? Being steadfast, right? You are what? And then as you've been established, now what's going to happen? You're going to grow in the sincere milk of the word. Okay? So go ahead and read verse. See what else we got on that. Sirach 18. See what verse 5 say.
God's book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 5, and it reads, "Who shall number the strength of all majesty? And who shall also tell out his merciful mercies?"
Yep, mercies. Okay.
Mercies.
All right. So you can drop that and let's go on the comment board.
Go on the comment board.
Yep. See these brothers got the water Malakia. All right. I'm gonna get from the brother you want a thon. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, "So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and did evils were multiplied in the earth." Bible Kashah, let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees. Okay. All right, we can start at verse 1. Okay. All right, throw out to the brother, one a thumb. But ultimately, this is going into what the 4 generals, all right, what they call Diadochi. All right, those are 4 generals that ruled after Alexander the Great. Right, you had the Seleucid Empire, the Ptolemaic Empire. All right, there's 2 more you'll come to mind, but we'll start at 1 Maccabees chapter 1. We're gonna read on down.
Verse 1.
Yep.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1, and it reads.
All right, and all of this is going to tie into the lesson as far as what going into the power. So real quick, we're gonna grab a little bit of this history, okay? Because brother, you want a thumb, put on the put a comment board, which is beautiful. The history of ultimately this is the first actual rulership of the Edomites, right? If you can receive it, which are the Greeks. Okay, then from the Greeks, then you had the Roman Empire. All right, and the Roman Empire today is a revival, which is called America Babylon the Great. You got it.
God. The book of 1 Maccabees, in the 1st chapter, in the 1st verse, and it reads, "And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land Shetnam, and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in the stead first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
All right, and won many wars. And why is that? Because the Most High had him to be great. Okay, had him to be great. Because now it's time for Esau to come in rulership. Right. So read it again.
John, start at verse 1.
Look at the ladder where you left off at.
John.
Yep.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 2, and it reads, made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. He went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations,
Yep.
insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
All right, and his heart was lifted up. And Alexander Great is also likened unto a leopard. All right, so let me grab this. You hold that.
John.
So let me grab this. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. And let's go straight to the point. Let's go to the verse 5. And it said, Daniel 7 verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth. And they said, thus unto it rise, devour much flesh. Verse 6, the point. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the fore of it 4 wings of a fowl. So that's the point. Okay, this is touching back off of First Maccabees 1, verse 7, 8, and 9. They are pretty much going to the generals of King Alexander the Great, or the Alexander the Freak, or the Creep, as they say. It said, and after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. This is Alexander Great. And why is he compared to a leopard? Right? This is all similitude. This is all parabolic talk, dark saying talk. All right. Why? Because he was swift. All right. It wasn't hard for him, because the Most High allowed for him to reign. Right? As I'm going, as I'm going to this lesson, the power. Okay. The power was given unto him, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. These are the 4 generals. Right? What you call the Diadoshi. The beast, and also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. So after Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Great died, then that's when the 4 generals came into power. All right, that's when they ultimately start reigning. Okay, the kingdom was split. See, all right, that's pretty much it. You go back.
John. Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 4, and it reads, and he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations, and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
While he was yet alive, right? Touching back off what? Off the 4 wings. Okay? Which once again is the 4 generals. So the kingdom was split. Right? You got it.
John. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
But that man, within the 12 years, what he accomplished was so vast and so had never been seen, in that present time. All right? To the point where we go to the history that he was actually, depressed that he wasn't able to conquer anymore, right? Because it wasn't nothing left. All right? He had ultimately taken over. That was a time of, Edomite supremacy. Jake himself wanted to be what? Like an Edomite. Called themselves Grecians. All right? So on, so on. You got it.
Gone. So book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 8, and it reads, and his servants bear rule every one in his place, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
And evils were multiplied in the earth. Right? Why is it evil? Because Esau, Edom. Okay? Right? Matter of fact, go to me real quick. Hold that. We'll go to Revelation 6.
Gone.
All right? I got to get it. Revelation 6, we'll start at verse 1. To show you, about the evils. Real quick. Job 9:24. Malachi 1:4. Why he is the wicked. Right? He's, he's a vile, crooked man.
There's no one more perverse than Edom.
Right? There's no, yep. There, they're more, there's no one perverse than Edom. Esau, Edom, are actually lower than a damn fly. The Most High said that He gonna curse them above all beasts. Okay? He's lower than everything, man. But imagine that. As I grabbed it earlier, now we got a child ruling over us, according to the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. Now, real quick, let me grab this before I have you. I'm going to the 4 generals. Bear me 1 second. Right? I want to grab for that, just for education's sake. Right? So we got what? So we got the, as it says, because I was quoting it, the Ptolemaic dynasty, empire. You had the Seleucid Empire, and also you had Lacedaemonian Empire, and also grab this other one. Bear me 1 second. So I can find it. Salakia. Yep, Ptolemy. The Ptolemy dynasty, the Cassander dynasty, the Seleucid dynasty, and the Antiochus dynasty. All right. So those were the 4 generals that came from Alexander the Great, right? Which goes back to Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. Those 4 wings of a fowl, right? You got it.
Come. So book of Revelation chapter 6, verse 1, and it reads, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it was the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, 'Come and see.'"
Yep, come and see. So this is the angel, all right, that actually is giving the vision to Apostle John to show what's going to happen in the last days. Go ahead.
Come. "And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow and a crown."
Oh. Go ahead.
Get up.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
"A bow and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer."
All right, and a bow and a crown. That white horse goes into Yahweh Shai. White goes to what? Purity. Okay, horse goes to what? Horsepower. Right? Yahweh Shai is actually going to come by the way, of a great big father, by a great big, chariot, what they call fathership of today. Right? And it's not far-fetched, because ultimately they've been speaking about, UFPs, UFOs. They've been speaking about last week about all these different, matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, they tried to shoot missiles, right, at a chariot. You saw that?
Yeah.
And it didn't do absolutely nothing. All right, it didn't phase the chariot. It kept on going about its business. Okay, so like they've said, man, when all hell breaks loose, right, you're gonna see how small of a man Esau Edom is, right? Because like I was saying, the power that he got, it's just by the will of the Most High. He just reigning for a little season, and Lord's will, we touch on it. Go ahead.
Gone. The book of Revelation chapter 6, verse 3, and it reads, "And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, 'Come and see.' And there went out another horse that was red."
That was what? Red. Hold that, Baba Kushah.
Gone.
Mark that and go to the book of Genesis chapter 25. All right, that red goes into who? Esau, Edom. All right, red man. Why is he red? Because he's not white. As brothers say all the time, he got translucent skin, man. Right, when he get nervous, when he get hyped, when he get scared, he turns red. He calls himself redneck, for crying out loud. Come on now. Right?
We're versing 25th chapter.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there with you. All right, so it was called what? Red. So let's grab this. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 25. We're starting around the 20s. Let's go to start verse 24. Should be verse 24. I'm gonna go to the twins.
The book of Genesis, the 25th chapter and the 24th verse, and it reads, "And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb."
Right, twins in her womb. Like I quoted earlier, this is going to what Esau and Jacob. These are the 2 main characters of the Bible. All right, one is actually ruling. All right, and the other one is serving. That would be us today. We are Jacob, and we are what? Serving. Okay, but it's going to be flipped right side up. You got it?
Gone. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
All right, red like a hairy garment. Not literal that he was, hairy, but ultimately that he was red. Okay, and that's in the book of Exodus chapter 35. Read that. So read that again.
Gone. The book of Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. It reads, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau. So when we read about the red dragon in the book of Revelation, right, chapter 6 and verse 3, that is, that's going back to Esau, Edom. All right, that's the man that's in power. Okay. So go back to the book of Revelation 6.
Holy shit,
yeah, go to Revelation 6.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6. We're at verse.
Should be verse
3. 3. And he said he had opened the second seal, and I heard the second beast say,
and it's
come and see.
And real quick, these seals go into what? Prophecies. So every prophecy got a time to be fulfilled, all right? As it says in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there's a time and a season for everything. So these seals represents, a time and a season, right? For a particular event to take forth. Okay, now once again, we are in that season of Esau, Edom ruling, right? You got it.
Gone. And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
All right, and power was given unto him. But as we've been reading, Sirach 10, Sirach 10 in verse 1 on down, and also Sirach 18, right, verse 1 and 2, right, going into what the power. The power, all powers is ultimately from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. That's given it, that's given it to a particular person, right? A particular nation, shall I say, to fulfill his will. You got it?
Come. And the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
All right, a great sword. Now we'll go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 27, and let's start at verse 30. Let's start verse 38. All right, this great sword. This is the blessing that was given unto Esau, Edom. All right, that's his power. This is not by mistake that this man, is good with, different weaponry, as far as guns or whatever. Esau, Edom got shit that, we don't even know about, right? You can see through walls and stuff, man. Okay, so they very good with the gun. You know how Jake is. When Jake goes shoot, he pretty much hit everything but the damn
his target.
But the target. Why? Because that's not your lot, bro. All right, that's not your lot at all. So let's start at Genesis chapter 27.
38.
And let's start verse. Let's start verse 36. Put in context. Matter of fact, Salak, I'm so sorry. Let's start at verse 33.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 27, verse 33, and it reads, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten all of before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, he said, and he shall be blessed.
All right, real quick, Isaac, if you can receive it, is Yahweh Shai. All right, prophecy lines up perfectly. Right, the same way, real quick, Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, but guess what happened? That position was actually fulfilled in the time of him being Yahweh Shai. Okay, and then as it says that book of John 8, it said that Abraham was excited to see his day, meaning what? When he was Isaac. You got it?
Gone. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father.
All right, and cry. Esau, to this very day, he's a crybaby, still crying, always whining and shit.
Yeah.
He don't never want to accept anything, always crying, right? Always trying to get a bite of what we got going on.
Yep.
You in your kingdom, you in your rulership, but you still talking about, hey, I want to go to the kingdom of heaven. I don't want to be no servant, no slave. That doesn't make any sense. Right, as I quoted earlier, the Most High is what? Balance. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. right? The Most High don't do things in false balance. So if you rule right now, why would you rule in our kingdom? Somebody got to be the servant. Somebody got to be the ruler.
That's right.
Right? There's a movie, you know, I quoted it a little bit ago last week called Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and that white and that so-called you know, white. I forgot his name. I keep getting that dude's name. It don't matter. But the movie called Trading Places, and this you know, this dude actually from Philly, based in Philly, right? And he was a, you know, ruling class dude, right? Into the stocks or whatever. And these two Edomites had a bet, okay, about if they put this Edomite in a hard position, how would he turn out? He didn't turn out so good. It became very low. So then they took Eddie Murphy and flipped it. So ultimately, it was flipped within overnight. So that's what's gonna happen. Overnight, right? Esau is gonna be right back where he belongs. The base, the low, right? Crying and shit. Where, you know, where he belongs, man. You got it?
Con. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27. And the 34th verse, and it reads, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry.
He's a crybaby.
And he said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing.
And real quick, I mean, ultimately, Esau, Edom, brother, you sold your birthright, dumbass.
Yeah.
All right? But that shows you he doesn't have any integrity. People tell me, oh, well, Jacob supplant. I mean, he named me supplant, but ultimately, when you understand how this goes, they made a pat agreement. So there you have it. And regardless, Jacob was already, you know, going to win anyway, right? It was already set up in the heavens. You got it.
Gone. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob, for he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he have taken away my blessing.
All right, and real quick, that shows you right there. What verse is that?
36.
Verse 36 shows you, you know, that Jacob name actually means supplant. So that shows you our names has a meaning, right? It's called
Nomen Omen.
Yeah, Nomen Omen, the water. All right, that, you know, so ultimately when a brother got a particular name, it really fulfills. All right, it's not by mistake, right? Okay, it's always the spirit. You got it?
Gone. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he's taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 37, and it reads, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, and I have made him thy out of wine, and all thy brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
All right. So what? So you know. So what's going on? What the hell are you about to do?
He with the.
He with light people?
Yeah, he with the rail. What's it? Cats. He with the transportation stuff. He ain't got nothing to do with us.
Okay. Yeah. So read it again from the top, Bible Shah.
God. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, thy Adawan, and all my brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
All right, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son? So this is the blessing upon Jacob. Now, right now, we are not, you know, running anything. We're not the head, ultimately because us going astray. But that's all going to be fulfilled in the kingdom.
God.
All right, so you got something?
I was just about to paraphrase. Like I have seen kings walking on the ground, and then the servants on the con.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that for you. Then I'm gonna grab this. All right, since the brother quoted it. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10. And let's start verse 6. But verse 7 was the point. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and rich sit in low place. And folly is all the way exalted. It's not by mistake that we see, you know, Jake that does things that does abominations and does things atrocious, that they are the top of the peoples. You know, the rappers, tattoos all over their faces, hoes twerking and shit.
Yep.
All right. Folly set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Who are the rich? We are the rich. Why? Because we have this knowledge and understanding. Romans 11 verse 33, the depths of riches. Having this knowledge, that's what makes you truly rich.
That's right.
Now this is for you. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 7, I have seen servants upon horses and prince walking as servants upon the earth.
Con is going into that. The brother keeps saying it's going to be flipped right side up, right? Because that's what it was meant for us to have. We was going to win. But again, like we was talking about this whole lesson, the powers. The Lord has put the basis of men over us, because right now that's their consolation. This is now their time to be up top. Because now when they get, but the Lord returns of recompense.
I'll lay that past by.
Now the Lord return of recompense upon their head, and everything flip. Those kings which will be the Israelites, will be back in the rightful seat.
That's right. You know, so everything gonna go right back to being, you know, right side up. Now I'm gonna go back here, because it said that we shall be, you know, the Lord's. All right, and we are the true gods. Hold for me real quick. Hold that. I got you calling a couple of things. Go to the book of Psalms 82 and verse 5. Should be verse 5 as I grab this. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And let's start at verse 13. Check this out. It says, "And the Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only." Right? This is the blessing that was given upon, you know, Jacob in the book of Genesis chapter 27. Okay? So this is what Moses ultimately is going into. All right? The blessing that was given upon Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to the respective 12 tribes, if we obey the Most High. "And the Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath." But guess what? We are beneath now. But check this out. If thou hearken unto the commandments of the Yahweh, thy power, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. All right. So, you know, as it says right here, so pretty much if we all the way, right, in our righteousness, all the way, you know, serving the Most High, okay, having the mindset of always trying to please the Most High, which all, you know, which we really can't do now, because, you know, this flesh is already prone to go off. That's why these flesh got to be changed. So that's how, you know, we're going to be in what? In utterly righteousness, okay? Which all going to take place in the kingdom, which is, you know, going to the throne of David.
That's right.
All right. I hear you hold it. All right.
Psalm 82 and
verse 5.
Verse 5, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 5, and it reads, and it reads, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course."
All right. You know, like we've been going into, everything is upside down. I alluded to the movie of Trading Places. Okay. And really, when Eddie Murphy, you know, I keep expounding on that movie, but when Eddie Murphy got back in, you know, a seat of authority, that's really how it's supposed to be. You know, we're supposed to be in a power of authority. Okay. But everything is upside down. Having Edomites, you know, running these streets, looking down upon you, right? Having, you know, as they say in the world, their nose up in the air, right? Having our women go out to be, you know, whores or whatever. All right. Even sending a jet across the street, you know, the poor man still working at nighttime, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're supposed to have our servants doing whatever. We're supposed to have our feet kicked up.
Chilling.
Yeah, man, having one of our women or concubines feeding us grapes. You know, having your feet up.
And the other one got the fan.
Yeah, and the other one got the fan, man. Hey, man, like we really supposed to have our feet up, getting fanned and eating grapes and wine and shit, right? Having gold on and all of that good stuff, man. Right? Really living a life of luxury. Okay, go ahead.
Con, we're gonna go back to Genesis. We saying that what we were just
as Psalms 82.
We're saying there, Con.
Yeah, read it again.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 5, and it reads, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Everything upside down.
I have said, ye are powers, and all of ye are the children of the Most High."
Right? We are what? Powers. We are we are actually gods. But right now, we are at the base. We are at the low. Okay? We are what people don't understand in the book of Jude, you know, chapter 1 should be verse 6. We are the angels that fell from our estate. Right? Meaning what? Now we die like what? As it's going to continue to expound on. Now we die like men. Go ahead.
That's right. John. The book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 7, and it reads, "But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise ye power. Judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations."
All right? Because ultimately, it wasn't for us to what? Die. Salvation, life is for the nation of Israel. No one else. right? And how do we know that? Because no one else has the covenant, bro. It's that simple.
God.
Okay, you don't have the covenant. The Most High is not dealing with you. Any other nation is only here to be servants to the nation of Israel. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Genesis 27, where we left off at.
God. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27.
Yep.
And we're at verse 38, and it reads, And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
And what? Once again, he's a crybaby.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Is that not how, Esau Edom lives today, the so-called Caucasians?
Man, they go hard for that Second Amendment, man.
They go hard for that.
They go hard for that.
So how is it that they ruling right now? What happened? I myself am a Native American. This bird right here is from the tribe of Ephraim. All right. So, I'm a so-called Native American, and this brother right here is a so-called Puerto Rican. All right. This is our, our land.
That's right.
All right. But what did this man do? Came and raped, robbed, and steal, genocide. Mm-hmm. And then brought our brothers, the Southern Kingdom, over here.
Yep.
All right. Forcefully. All right. It wasn't cool. It wasn't, we're going to shake on it. Nah, man. Had them packed down like a can of sardines. Okay. So this man had lived by the sword. Christopher Columbus, I got a book, but Christopher Columbus himself said that boy couldn't put down his sword, not even for a moment. And also, when he seen how generous, the tribe of Gad was, he said that that they would make good slaves. Think about that, man. Think about, you see someone is being generous, and the first thing come to your mind, hey, I'm gonna put you in slavery. But that shows you that who is the damn devil.
It's the evil.
All right, that man has no, matter of fact, hold for me, Habakkuk, chapter 2, should be verse 5. All right, but that shows you that this man has no integrity, has no uprightness in him, right? Got some Eve over there, I don't know what they got going on.
Act like a goddamn fucking fool.
Yeah. But it showed that man have no righteousness and no integrity in him. Okay? Living by the sword, man. First thing come to your mind is, I'm going to put them in slavery. What kind of mindset is that? But it's all good because that's that man's position to be the damn devil. Right?
You said Habakkuk.
Yeah, Habakkuk chapter 2.
God.
And we'll start at verse 5. Start verse 4 when you get there. Right?
2 and 4. I'm just trying.
Just made this quick point as far as saying that, this man is not, upright.
God. Book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4, and it reads, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And it's like it. But the just shall live by his faith.
Right? His soul not upright in him. Why? Because he is crooked. They've been sitting there like for a minute, man. Bugging out. Right? Tweaking. At least 2 minutes already. Damn devil. But they are crooked. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. That's a crooked man. You try to make a peace agreement with that. Did he not break all the agreements with the Native Americans?
Broke them all.
He broke them all.
Gave out blankets with chicken pox and
pox, man.
Signed peace treaties, and then went and attacked and killed everybody. When a lot of the northern tribes they ate bison.
Yes.
So they went out and killed almost the whole population of bison, so they wouldn't have no food to eat.
Starving them out. All right, making it where you got to come to them, man. That's a damn devil right there.
Yeah.
All right, they brought all these different diseases with them from Europe, and then got the nerve to look at you talking about we made you civilized. What the hell?
They was even washing their ass yet.
One ain't washing the ass of the brother just said.
So they still don't.
They got the nerve to say that they civilized the tribe of Gad and Reuben and whatever, but you came over here with a sword, rape, robbing, and killing. But they show you the hypocrisy of this damn devil, man. Go ahead.
God, the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5, and it reads.
You need some light?
I know I'm good. Yea, also, because he transgresses by wine.
Wine goes to philosophy. All right? You got it.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations,
All right.
and heapeth unto him all people.
So read that from the top one more time, Baba Kusha.
God, it's a book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5, and it reads, Yea, also, because he transgresses by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Right, having all nations really subject to him. But now we see the nations are bucking up against Esau, Edom, and against the power. But the point there is, I want to touch on real fast, if I get back to Genesis 27, so bear with me, is that he's a proud man, very proud, very greedy, as it just said. He enlarged his desire as hell, right? So let me grab this real swift. You can drop that and go back to the book of Genesis, but I'm gonna grab this. Obadiah, it's only one chapter, right? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1. And this right here in Obadiah, this prophecy we still waiting on. And how do we know that? Is because Esau Edom is still walking around, right? He's still walking around. So, but Obadiah 1 and verse 1, the vision of Obadiah thus said out of one of Most High concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Yahweh, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise you and let us rise up against her in battle. All right, and we are the messengers. We the ones that are going out here telling you what's going on. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5, you got spirits on it. Jeremiah 1 and verse 5, it said that what? We are prophet unto the nations. Okay? First and foremost to Israel, tell repent and perish. Matthew 3 and 2, but also to tell the nations of what's going on. Let's pass by. And also shalom to the blood brother, Shadia Khan, formerly known as Hananya. Shalom Malak. Brakathon to you and your household, King. Shalom, good to see you. Obadiah 1 and verse 1, the vision of Obadiah thus said out of one Yahweh concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Yahweh, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise you and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. All right, and that's what's going on right now. Esau Edom doesn't have that same, for toi as he once had. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that same, popular esteem as he once had, man. This ain't 1940s, 1950s, where, he was walking around all, popular. Now more people are like, man, America isn't shit. This place is trash. I'm gonna go back home, right? They want to fight, they want to fight Esau Edom, man. Why? Because he become a great despised. They seeing this devil for what he is. Mm-hmm. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Touching back off of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5, it said, well, he's a proud man and pretty much don't keep it at home. All right, and him not keeping it at home, that pretty much go to all the different military bases everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everywhere. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Why? It's Caucasian. Caucasian literally go to Caucasus Mountains. Mm-hmm. These are cave beasts. This is up in the mountains beating on their chest. Mm-hmm. Saying hoo, all that bullshit.
Braving and shit.
Braving. Mm-hmm. The west in the quest of the rock, whose habitation is high, yep. That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's how proud he is. All right, he doesn't think that he's gonna come and meet his end. But he got another thing coming. Right? He got another thing coming, man. Clefts in the rock, so it's not by mistake. When you see New York, which is my second home, when you see New York built a certain way, that's not by mistake. Because that's how that man he like to live on top of each other. You supposed to have land as far as I can see. Right? Got neighbors and all that shit. But go ahead.
Con.
Genesis 27.
Con. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27. We're at verse 40, and it reads, but by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Right? The days of my, read it again, Bakusha.
Gone.
What verse was that?
41.
Read it again.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 41, and it reads, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
All right, and that's what's pretty much what's going on right now. Okay, he still is, you know, pretty much coming after Jake to this very day, right? So as we were touching on, man, we'll go back to the book of Revelation chapter 6. As far as that red horse, right? His main objective, his main thing is to come up against you tribes, right? It's not by mistake that a lot of stuff that be poison, right? It's always in the barrios or the ghettos. Right? It's not by mistake that they all got a liquor store around the corner and all of that. Okay? Because ultimately his main thing is to do what? It's to slay Jacob to this very day. Now real quick before the brother grab that, let me grab this. This is the book. It's a couple that comes to mind. Bear me 1 second. This is oh man. This is Ezekiel chapter Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12. Thus said the Adonai Yahweh, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. All right, avenge himself upon them. And why is that? Because at one point we had Esau Edom beat down. All right, whooping them. Okay, you know, I was watching a podcast the other day, and there was a dude. He was an LA native. And he said something that was kind of funny. He said, yo, when I was in LA County jail, I was whooping feet. You know? So, you know, but I said to say, so we was, so Jay was what, whooping feet, man. Right? We had them, you know, jumping off of mountains. I forget the king's name, right? When we was ruling in the dark ages, the southern kingdom, right? When we were ruling dark ages, we had them beat down, man. Right? Like I was saying, heard Jake say on a podcast, he was whooping feet. So, you know, we're whooping feet, man. You know, beating them down. It said, therefore, thus said the Most High, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom. It would cut off man and beast from it, and would make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. All right? And Teman goes to what the German, but the point there was, the Esau Edom still had that hatred. Okay? Still want to what? Bring vengeance upon us to this very day. Nothing had changed. Just because he may say hello to you, you know, when he walking his dog, doesn't mean that he likes you. Right? He probably call you a nigga, you know, time you go down the street or something.
As soon as he not in earshot, he gonna say something smart.
He gonna say something smart, man. All right. See, I'll grab one more. Yeah, here it is. So this is Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, real quick. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Touching back off of Genesis 27 verse 40 and also 41. Where Esau said that what, you know, pretty much gonna take vengeance upon Jacob. Why? For him not having the birthright, the blessings. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right. So this man is always and still to this day, till Yahweh Shai makes a return, is still going to be after us. All right. So let's go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 6.
God, we'll be end off at.
Let's see.
I'm gonna end up at like 5.
Read verse 4 again. Read verse 4 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 4, and it reads, and there went out another horse that was red. The power was given to him.
Horse represent horsepower. All right, go ahead.
God that was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
All right, and we covered that. Genesis 27, verse 40 and verse 41. All right, speaking about Esau, Edom. There's no way you can get around that.
God.
Can't nobody object and say that the Most High, that the Most High didn't bless Esau, Edom to win right now. All right. Who can say that Esau Edom didn't come over here winning? All right, by the weight of sword. Who can say it? Who can say you right? That's how he won. By killing people. You got it.
Come. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse.
All right, and real quick, like I was saying, these seals just represents prophecy. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. So everything got a season and a time for it to be fulfilled. Seals and all of that, all it means is now it's time for this prophecy to be fulfilled. All right, you got it.
Come. Beheld, and lo, a black horse, and said that sat on him, had a pair of balances in his hand.
All right, now this black horse and a pair of balances, pair of balances ultimately goes into us going into slavery. All right, us going into captivity. And let me prove that real quick. Right, because that word for balance is going to what should be zygos. Probably saying it incorrect, but this represents us going into slavery. Check this out.
Strong's G 2218. Zugas.
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 Right? And Zugas, it goes to what? A yoke. A yoke. Who had the yoke upon? We had a yoke. When you look up yoke, matter of fact, can you look that up? Just
put on a blue letter.
Yeah, matter of fact, just type in on Google
yoke.
Yeah, like an iron. Slave with that. A yoke of iron.
You want a picture?
Yeah,
yeah, I got you.
Yeah, a picture. So who represents that? Who fulfilled that prophecy? Okay, I don't want to hear about other nations. Fuck them. Salakia. Just like from a hard speech. But the point is, the other nations doesn't have nothing to do with the Most High. All right? So that yoke of iron is pretty much, represent us going into what? Captivity and slavery. The Bible should I put it in the camera?
Make sure they can see it. I turned out now.
You got it.
Brightness real quick as we go.
All right, and that's a yoke of iron right there. He said a yoke that is put on a draught cattle, used of any burden or bondage as that of slavery. All right, and that goes into what? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay, that man came to do what? To take peace from the earth. Revelation 6:3. Okay, that's 6 and 4. That's what he came to do. To put you into captivity, put you in slavery. All tribes have been in captivity, right? I know, a lot of people just like to say the so-called Negroes, so-called blacks. Nah, all of us, right? Auction off, different parts of the world. And it says on a blue letter, use up any burden or bondage as that of slavery, of troublesome laws, and it goes to something else, but a pair of balances. So ultimately we have what? The yoke of iron upon iron neck. Okay, touch on that real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. You got it.
Gone. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48, and it reads, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies with heart of one Yahweh shall sin against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee."
Go ahead and expound on it, brother.
Gone. Don't bring it on.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Gone. "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which heart of one Yahweh shall sin against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." Going to the fact, these are some of the curses that our people are faced with, right? It says we are serving our enemy, right? We're still serving our enemy, which is, Esau, right? And it says that he's going to destroy us with that yoke of iron on us because we're in bondage, right? And the one precept says, you put, going to the fact, subject to pay. That's how you know you're in bondage, right? Or the other precept.
I got you.
The water. The one precept says we have to go to him in want of all things, right? Because we are subject to bondage and we're serving our enemy. But that's just a curse that soon, I don't have to decide very soon that it's going to be flipped and we're going to be out of here.
That's right. Flip, right side up. All right, this for the brother Amoth. Baruch 3 and verse 8. Oh man, it's beautiful. Yeah. Let's straight to the point. Baruch 3 and verse 8. "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Most High our power.
Gone. We're still in slavery. Now, we may not be physically in slavery, but we're in like monetary slavery. We're debt slaves, right? We're in chattel slavery. Like we are subject to payment. Like the one preacher says, we put money with bags with holes in them, right? It's never enough. And also going back to what we were talking about being an enemy, it says where they you know, the precept said that they won't let their the oppressed go. So like we're stuck here, even though we're not physically enslaved, we're still in captivity. They won't let us go, and we're subject to payment.
Right. Yep. See. But read that again, myself.
I got you. There's a book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48, and it reads, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Adonai Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee."
God, I'm
Want me to go to the next verse?
Oh no, we're good off that. It's all good. But we'll go back to the book of Revelation 6.
6, I got you.
Yeah, but the point that was made, all right, that ultimately, you know, we still found in this man's hands. All right, and by us still being found in this man's hands, right, the Most High is going to do what? Yahweh Shai is going to come and do what? Slaughter. Right. Okay? Yep.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 6, and it reads, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Let's go to hyperinflation. Go ahead.
And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
Hurt not the oil and wine goes to what? The knowledge of understanding. Okay? There's nothing, you can really, as the scriptures say, to use this, you can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So there's nothing that they can do to stop the Most High's wisdom from going out. If you already ordained to be, you know, sustained, the only way you can be sustained by what? Having this wisdom and understanding. I said, Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6, wisdom and thou shalt be built at thy times. Right? By having the names of the Most High, that shows what wisdom and understanding. Okay? Even if you don't know every breakdown, that's cool. You know the name. That's more than a lot of people, you know, got. You know, the Most High can always increase that. That's easy. That's light work. You got it.
Gone. "And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And the power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth. They kill with sword, and the hunger, and with death, and the beast of the earth."
All right, and with the beast of the earth. All right, and that's pretty much what's going to happen. Okay, really, you know, everything has been, you know, happening as far as, as far as the curses, but how much more so when Jacob trouble pops off, right? Yes, this man has used his sword. Yes, this man has, you know, killed, starved out our people, but how much more so when the Most High crank it up? Jeremiah 30 verse 7, never had there been a day like it. Okay, Bible Shah, can you read for me one more time where it says of a wheat for a penny? Start verse top. You just read that. Look, verse 6 and 6.
God, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 6, and it reads, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
All right, so a measure of wheat for a penny. That goes into what? The victuals. Go to the Apocrypha. Go to 2nd Edges 16. And start verse 21. Right, this going to the victuals that they shall be, as it says, so cheap. Okay. 2nd Edges 16 and 21.
This is the book of 2nd Edges, chapter 16, verse 21, and it reads, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils go upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion."
Lines up perfectly with Revelation 6 and verse 6 and verse 7. All right? They're gonna be what? Just evil, non-stop evil. When the Most High really crank this thing all the way up to the max. You haven't seen nothing yet. You know, everything that we went through, man, that was like, man, that gonna look like a cakewalk, as they say. Okay? Because once again, I'm gonna say it again, the Most High said that what? Never had there been a day like it. Let's see, we'll grab a little bit more in that. Read verse 22 as well.
Gone. It's the book of 2nd Hedges, chapter 16, verse 22, and it reads, For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Right? No escaping. Right? There's no other way that you're going to be able to get around it. As scripture says, going to be like a bear met him. This is non-stop judgment. Book of Amos, we're going to grab it. Amos 5:19, also 24, where it goes into judgment, going to come down like water, non-stop. Right? This is the Most High literally open up the floodgates of, you know, a beatdown. Right? I'm going to use that again because I like what it sounds. I'll tell you about that Jake, about whooping feet. All right, this is the Most High whooping feet, man. Okay? That's what it is. Let's see, grab a little bit. Read verse 23 as well.
The book of 2nd Hedges, chapter 16, verse 23.
And also 24.
24, 23, and it reads, And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down.
Right, and the dead shall be what? Cast out as dung. Okay, there can be no burial for these people. Bodies is literally going to be stacked up on top of each other, right? To the point where the Most High had ravens, birds actually come and eat the flesh of kings and princes, as it says in the book of Revelation. Right, that should be, was it 19? Go ahead.
Gone. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
And to sow it. This place going to go out in utter destruction. Speaking about what? Babylon the Great, also known as America. It's going to go up in smokes forever. Meaning what? For a very long time. Could be months, years, however. Right, so that's it on Revelation 6. So we're going to drop that. And you can close that up too. Right? See what your brothers got. Wait me 1 second. Go to Revelation 20. We'll start with that.
Okay. Revelation 20.
Yeah, we'll start with verse 1. We're going to read on down.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 1, and it reads.
Hold on real quick. And this is, you know, the pretty much, you know, going to this lesson is pretty much going to what, you know, the powers. You know, when earlier I was making a point as far as saying that the power that Esau Edom has, all of this is, you know, really, you know, the Most High. The Most High is really governing, you know, this whole thing, right? Everything is obeying his will, right? As a brother put, Romans 9 and verse 19, thou would say then unto me, why doth yet he find fault? For who have resisted his will? No one can resist his will. Okay? So you got it.
God. Book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 1, and it reads, And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that the old serpent, which is the devil and Shaitan, have bound him 1,000 years.
All right, read Revelation 20 from the top once again, Bible Kwasha.
Gone. So book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 1, and it reads, I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit. And
the key, real quick, the key goes into ultimately them being what? Sealed, them being what? Shut off for a period of time. Go to Leviticus 26 and verse 19. Hold that. All right, Leviticus 26 and verse 19. This is Esau Edom being bound for 1,000 years, right? During the Byzantine Empire. So when you look it up, as the brother's getting it, I'm gonna just quick point. Now Leviticus 26, real quick to say, that goes into the curses of us, speaking about the so-called Negroes, the Americans spent the nation of Israel, but ultimately that also can be applied to Esau, right? Because the curse was on him. So it says, so go ahead and read that.
Time. Book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 19, and it reads, And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass.
And your earth as brass. Because it said right here, Revelation 20 and verse 1, And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit. Right? Bible Kashah. So read it once again. So, you know, so the key is ultimately them being what? Bound, them being what? Shut down. You know how they say, you know, how they say in the world, this is the black man's hell, but the white man's heaven. So once again, as I've been saying, the trade of places. So this is our hell right now, and the white man's heaven. But when we are in authority, it's the white man's hell and our heaven.
God.
So that's that key. All right, that's been him, you know, sealed down. That's been him, in, you know, shut down from going out and doing what he likes to do, which is deceive.
God.
Right? Read it one more time.
God. The book of Leviticus chapter 26 verse 19, and it reads, "And I will break your pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass."
And your earth as brass. Now, like I just said, yes, it's speaking about Israel, but also the curses there on 30 verse 7 can be applied to Esau as well. But how much more so in the kingdom of heaven? Right? That was written aforetime, was written for our learning.
That's right.
All right, so that's giving an example of the key, right, and him being in chains, him being shut down. That he was what? That he was in a hellish condition, in the Caucasus Mountains, being shut down. And it says the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now I'm gonna grab this. You go back to Revelation 20.
God, I got you.
I'm gonna grab this. You go into the fact that that bottomless pit goes into what? Lands. All right, that's what that goes into.
Yeah.
So second Maccabees. No, so like I'm tripping. Second Hedges chapter 5 and verse 24. And it reads, Hedges 5 verse 24. And of all lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit. All right? And all the lands, our homeland is Israel, headquarters is Jerusalem. And of all the flowers of thereof, one lily. So there, most I got everything, you know, it got his favorites. But use this point to show that pits is also alluding to what? Lands. Okay? So, you know, once again, when the Most High speaks in parabolic similitudes, Hosea 12 and 10. Let's pass by. Like I was saying, and of all lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit. That's falling back off of Revelation 20 and verse 1, right? Where it goes into, you know, the bottomless pit. And the bottomless pit is Europe, right? That's where it's at. Why called bottomless pit? Because it's got no natural resources. Everything has to be pretty much shipped to them, okay? They're not a fruitful land. And of all flowers, there are one lily. So go back to the book of Revelation 20.
God.
And verse 2.
God. The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 2, it reads, "And he laid hold on the dragon and the old serpent, which is the devil and Shaitan."
The old serpent, why? Because when we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 3, we ain't got to grab it. Genesis chapter 3, it was what he was called, what he referred to as a serpent. Now then, you know, Eve was deceived. And Eve, if you could receive it, it said that what? She's the mother of the living. Eve ultimately represents Jerusalem. All right, because we all was deceived. As we're going to continue to read. Okay, but the old serpent, Genesis 3, should be verse 1. Okay?
Come.
You got it?
And bound him 1,000 years.
And bound him 1,000 years. Now, like I was making a point, as far as saying, now this 1,000 years right here is ultimately going into the Byzantine Empire. Weirdo back there. So let me grab this. I'm gonna show you this quick history. Read it from the top, Bible Shaw.
God. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse. Well, we read 2, we'll go to 3.
Read verse 2 again.
God. Verse 2, and it reads, "And laid hold on the dragon and the old serpent, which is the devil Shaitan, and bound him 1,000 years."
And bound him 1,000 years. Now, once again, this is going to what? The Byzantine Empire. See if I can find that. Thought I marked it. So like it, bear me 1 second. See, here it is. All right, bound 1,000 years. Once again, going to what? The Byzantine Empire. Look at that weirdo, bro.
Yeah.
Weirdo, man.
Is that a man or a woman?
I don't know what that is. Man, you can't tell nowadays, right? Oh man, I don't know what that is. Okay, so now before the Renaissance Empire, you had what? The primary successor to the ancient Roman Empire, Slovakia, was the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire. So during this time, we had our brothers, the southern kingdom, that was once again ruling over there. All right, during the Dark Ages. Okay, so now they got that what you call iconoclasm, right? They scripture that you like to grab was that First Maccabees 3 and 47, where
they open the law, and sought to paint the likeness of their image.
Yeah,
the image.
So right before the Renaissance Empire, that was the Byzantine Empire. So 1,000 years, Jake, the southern king, predominantly over there was ruling, man.
Gone.
So you can go back to Revelation 20.
Gone. There's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 3, and it reads, "They cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed as a little season."
He must be loosed a little season. Now that little season is going into right now. All right, now in this little season, go ahead and grab that what you like. First Maccabees 3 and verse 47. Now within this little season, this is what you got. Him painting his image, him changing the image of of our Lord into a blonde head, hippie looking, white dude. All right, that's him being loose a little season. Now he's going out to do what? Deceive. That's what he's programmed to do. Right? Everyone is programmed to do something. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this again and cast him to the bottomless pit. Bottomless pit once again goes to Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay. So for them 1,000 years, pretty much what was happening, Jake was was whooping feet, man. All right, beat them down. I'm gonna use that more often. I like that.
Kendrick said, "Man, I'll tear his car for you. I'll whoop your feet."
Yeah, I'll whoop your feet, man. You know what I'm saying? I really like that. I'm gonna start using that. Whooping feet.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48, and it reads, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images," which is why we have these change. That's why our people look like them. They're like Job 9 and 24. The word is in the hand of the wicked, who shit to cover the faces of the judges, if not him who is it. They went in the book and they changed all the pictures of our people and all our prophets, and even Yahushua, and changed his name to Jesus the Christ, and change the images, man.
To the point where they got angels, right, messengers of the Lord out of one as white babies, man.
Yeah, shit weird.
As white, what the fuck? It's lucky, but as white babies. Like, what are we doing? But it shows you that this man is wicked as all hell. Right? So let's go here, because once again, where it says, and he must be loose a little season, this is what him coming back in power. All right, his power. So go to the book for me. First and foremost, let's go to Psalms 2. Let's start with verse 1. We're gonna read on down. It's short. Right, show more of him coming back in power. So from the times of the 14th to 15th century unto this very day, this man is ruling, and he is in power. But what's a little season until he be cut off. So Psalms 2 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, "Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against One Yahweh, and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us."
All right, and pretty much real quick, this is touching a little bit off of Revelation, right, chapter 20, okay, of him being loosed, right? Of him being loose for a little season, right? These are the rules today, and they've been running astray, as they say in the world, been running amok for the past about roughly 500 years, right? From the Renaissance to now. Got it?
Gone. "Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us." The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 4, and it reads, "He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. How Adawan shall have them in derision."
All right, actually, I didn't want in derision mean confusion. Now drop that and go for me to Isaiah 14 and verse 5. To show a little bit more off of the power of this man. That him being loose a little season, that's the Most High allowing him to be empowered. Which ultimately, as I grab, as the brother grabs Sirach 18 and verse 3, that the powers is by the, the powers is in the hand of the Most High.
Okay.
So let's go to Isaiah 14 and get there with you. Start verse 5.
Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 5, and it reads, How the one Yahweh, how broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people and wrath for continual stroke, he that ruled the nations, and anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
All right, and none hindereth. All right, it said he who smote the people and wrath. It says the Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So making this quick point that this is what's coming, right? The wicked rulers is going to be what cut off as we're going to continue to read. Okay, so even though he's loose for a little season, right, the Most High got something for him. And also he said he will smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, right? First and foremost, us, right? All nations, don't get it twisted, heathens, it's feeling it, but ultimately everything goes back to what? Jake, right? Because as scripture says, they are waiting, loosely paraphrasing, for the manifestation of the sons of God, right? All creatures, all creatures is waiting for us to go back in rulership, right? Everything is in agony. Everything is in pain, right? The trees, so on, so on. He said he will smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke. He that ruled a nation is in anger, is persecuted, and none hinder it. All right. So that's us, man. We have pretty much taken lots of beatings. Okay, but once again, things is about to go right side up. Okay, so drop that. Let's go. Let's grab one more. Let's go to the book of Romans chapter 13. Start verse 1 on that. Go a little bit more to them powers and the rulers. Right? And verse 3 is the point.
13 and 1.
Yeah, start Romans 13 and verse 1.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1, and it reads, Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the power Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained by the power Yahweh.
By the power Yahweh. So once again, him being loose a little seed, that's the will of the Heavenly Father first and foremost. Don't get it twisted. All right, this is what Yahweh thought upon and made it happen. All right, the Heavenly Father himself, and everybody got to fulfill their lot. Sirach 18 and verse 3. Matter of fact, I got to grab it. I got y'all. All right, but I'll read that again.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1, and it reads, Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the power Yahweh. The powers that are the powers that be are ordained of the power Yahweh.
All right, because all powers, all rulers, because when you go to power, it goes to what? Just pretty much the rulers. All of this is the will of the Most High, ordained, set up. Right? As it says, he declared the end at the beginning. It was already done. Sirach 18 and verse 3, who governed the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. All things obey his will. Right? Nothing is going contrary to the ways of the Most High. Everything is in perfect order. Even though things is upside down, this is how the Most High wanted for, as it says, verse 20, verse 3, for a little season. Obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power, dividing holy things among them from profane. All right, Most High, separating. Okay, but the point there is that the Most High, as it says, governed the world with the palm of his hand. All right, so he gives out commandments. All right, you hear, you hear, you hear. Everyone got a lot. Everyone got a position. So go back to the book of Romans 13. Read 1.
Read 1.
Yeah.
Book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the power Yahweh. The powers that be ordained are ordained of the power Yahweh. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the power Yahweh. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Shall receive to themselves damnation. So real quick, we understand that this man was given the sword. We understand that this man was given a little time to rule. as all the other kingdoms of old. All the other kings of old had a chance to rule. Japhet, all of them, man, when it was the Medes. All right? So now we understand, coming to the truth that, we just got to be patient. As scripture says, wait upon Yahweh Shai to come and handle this. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 3, and it reads, for rulers are not a terror to good works.
Good work is doing what we're doing now. Serving Yahweh Shai. All right, rehearsing the righteous acts as the brothers quoted, Judges 5 and 11. Okay, making our bodies a living sacrifice, doing the thing that is pleasing, right? Doing the thing that we supposed to do as being Israelites.
Gone.
You got it.
But to the evil, wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. All right, so the point there was, it said, for rules are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. And we understand that the evil today will be like the little YNs, you make a quick point.
Sure.
So like when, when we see cops, yeah, we get a little nervous, but ultimately we understand that, man, we doing things that's pleasing to the Most High, right? We got integrity,
that's
all right? So that's pretty much it. So let's go to Ephesians 6 and 12, and that'll be it on that. Ephesians 6 and 12. Go a little bit more on the powers. All right, they're going a little bit off of the powers, and Esau being what loosed a little season.
The book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, and it reads, but we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now, I watched the movie, Him. I'm not going to spoil it, but man, when you go see that movie, it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. We see that movie, you really see, brothers understand about how they get down. Yeah. In Hollywood, what they call, which is Hollywood, of how to get down, man, of that, though, you got really to get down to, to play around, right? You know what I'm talking about. You got to, drink blood and do all types of manner of wickedness just to, have some status in Babylon the Great. So read that again, Baruch Shah.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, and it reads, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's the elite. Okay, those are the ones that you call Jewish. All right, the Amalekites. That's who ultimately is ruling. And that's the reason why the scripture says that don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. All right, because we got to walk circumspect. Matter of fact, let me grab that. It should be the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and 23. I'm going to grab it real quick. I want to make this quick point, because we go to that word hand, right? Really in the Hebrew, it goes to what? Yod. Yod. Where it goes to what? Powers. So this is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 23. Make this quick point. No, that's not it. Salakia. Matthew 6 in verse 3. Salakia. And it reads, but when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Right? So ultimately, being like what? Clark Kent, like Superman. Okay? We don't supposed to, we supposed to walk circumspect. Okay? Especially with the powers of this world. Because we understand that this man, he don't just, as the scripture says, bear the sword in vain. He was blessed with the sword. Right? So once again, we go to that hand, it is going to what? Powers. I'll just make that quick point. So let's go back to the book of Revelation 20, start verse 4.
Revelation 20?
Yeah, verse 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 4, and it reads, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the power of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon his foreheads. For in their hands, and they had lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years.
All right, now this is going into the kingdom now. This 1,000 years is not speaking about the Byzantine Empire, the dark ages that Jake was ruling, right? That's why the scripture says that we got to rightly divide the word of truth, okay? So let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19, because it said that what he saw them that was beheaded, right, being what? Judges. So Matthew chapter 19, let's start at verse 27. We're going to read on down. Speaking about those judges, speaking about us, Adon Ratazah, we be of the house of David. Why? Because you suffered, for the names of for the names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Matthew 19 and verse 27.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 27, and it reads, Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily, I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, and regeneration.
And that proves to you that there is a thing called reincarnation. Same thing. Like I said a little bit earlier, regardless if you was a prophet then, you always going to be a prophet. All right? You're going to stand in the lot. In the last time the Most High told Daniel, you will come back doing the same thing over and over and over again. Right? All your work that you did back then, if it was pleasing to the Most High, ultimately all that's been stored up. You got it?
Come. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharallah. And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren.
Real quick, so judging the 12 tribes of what? Yasharallah. And this, once again, going back to Revelation 20 and verse 4, which is going to the kingdom, right? That's going to the kingdom about us, right? Leaving all, forsaking all. Brothers make great sacrifices to be out here, right? As Scripture said, make thy body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12 and verse 1. And shalom to the sis, Rebecca Ophir, shalom, Aqua, Brakatham, to you
shalom,
and
shalom.
your household. Right, so read Revelation, so I can read Matthew 19 and verse 28 once again, Baruch Shah.
20, which one?
19 and verse 28.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28, and it reads, Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharallah.
Judging the 12 tribes of Yasharallah, which is falling back. I'm gonna read this again. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. All right, the same way, John the Baptist was beheaded. All right, stood stiffly, stood firm. Right, he didn't give in to, Herod. It says, unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Adonai Yahweh, and which had neither worshipped the beast, neither his image. All right, so real quick, the beast go to what? EU and NATO, neither his image, speaking about what? This whole Western hemisphere, which is the revival of the Roman Empire. That's all it is. Okay? We didn't give into living like, an American. We use the world, but what? Not abusing it. We didn't trust in we didn't trust nothing about this. We know for a fact, we got full faith that ultimately this place is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. A little bit more. And they worship this the beast, neither his image, neither receive his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. They lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Once again, this is going to what? The kingdom of heaven, right? And that mark, which you understand, if you can receive it, is the sea hip, that little grain of rice, right? And the reason I'm speaking like this, because according to Scripture, it says that what? Let not your left hand know what your right hand is doing. All right, speaking, walking, speaking what, circumspectly. Okay, speaking in what code, right? But that's the sea hip. So read a little bit more, Matthew 19 and 29.
Done. Book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 29, and it reads, And everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
All right, everlasting life. So that's what we are looking for. And now we're going to continue to read. That's the hope for elect, making it on the first go around, right? That's that first go around that you got to take part in that second death, which is the lake of fire. You got it.
But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
But many that are first shall be last, last shall be first. Okay? And them that are first, we understand it's Esau, Edom, but also a lot of these Jakes, right? That's why it says that a heart shall a rich man make it to heaven, right? So a lot of these celebrities, like your Jay-Z's, your Floyd Mayweathers, they already received their comfort, right? They're already good to go. And also, to touch more off of Judges, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians 6. Should be verse 3. Go straight to the point on that.
God. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 3, and it reads, "Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?"
Right, that what? We shall judge angels. Right, it's touching more off of what? Ruling for the 1,000 years. Okay, which is the kingdom of heaven. Right, so drop that. Let's go back to the book of Revelation 20 and verse 4. Should be good on that.
God's book of Revelation chapter 20 verse 4, and it reads,
Now, go ahead and go to verse 5. You good? Salaki.
Verse 5, and it reads, "But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years are finished. This is the first resurrection."
All right, go to Daniel chapter 7 verse 12. All right, so this is the first resurrection. The first resurrection. All right, this is going into what, the kingdom of heaven, them that made it on the first go around. What? You got the 2/3 that can be reborn during this time, and also, the rest of the dead, what the other nations. For 1,000 years, they got served hardcore captivity.
So Daniel what?
Oh, Daniel 7 and verse 12.
Nah.
Start verse 11.
Nah. The book of Daniel chapter 7 verse 11, and it reads, "I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld, even to the beast was slain, his body destroyed and given to burning flame."
Which is speaking about EU and NATO. All right, that's who's gonna be taken out of power, which is nothing but Edomites. Right, Esau got to be taken out of power. Two kings can't rule together. Go ahead.
Concerning the rest of the beasts, they had the dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
For a season and time, speaking on what the other nations. Okay, so after 1,000 years, they're gonna go back to their homeland, except for Esau. Except for Esau, Edom. They're gonna be destroyed. Read the book of Obadiah. All right, and one of the ways we know that after 1,000 years, the other nations is gonna go back to their homelands. Okay, but still gonna be servants. Is Zechariah chapter 14. They gotta come, during our high holy days. Right? You read verse 12?
Yep.
All right, now drop that. See, I might grab something. Read verse 12 again, Baruch Shah.
The book of Daniel chapter 7 verse 12, and it reads, "And concerning the rest of the beasts, they had the dominion taken away, yet the lives were prolonged for a season and a time."
For a season and a time. Once again, these other nations. Right? Like I was saying, after 1,000 years, they're going to go right back to their homelands. So let's go back to the book of Revelation 20. We're going to read on down. Get ready to wrap this up.
The book of Revelation chapter 20 verse 6, and it reads, "Blessed is holy is he that have part of the first resurrection. On such as the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of the power and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years."
All right. So this is them, okay, that are have part of what the first resurrection. It said, "Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection." Okay, you receive those new bodies on the first go around. You had to take part. You had to take part in the lake of fire. Okay, like the rest of Jake did, right? And these other people. It says, "On such a second death have no power," and it says, "O death, where is thy sting?" 1 Corinthians. I'm gonna grab that. Real quick. Read that latter part for me.
Gotcha.
And Revelation 20.
So book of Revelation 20 chapter 20 verse 6, and it reads, "Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of the power and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years."
Shall reign with him 1,000 years. Okay, because it said death have no power. Okay, because ultimately it's gonna be for the elect. "Oh death, where is thy sting?" as it says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Let's start at verse 54. "So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption." Now let's go to what their first resurrection. "And this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the same that is written, death swallowed up in victory." All right, no more death for the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? That's speaking about, the elect of Israel first and to the rest of the Israelites. Okay? So let's go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 6. It said, they shall be priests of the God, and of Mashiach shall reign for him 1,000 years. All right? Because why? We're going to be what? A kingdom of priests. Okay, as it says, matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and grab it. I got it. This is Exodus 19. Because we're going to be a kingdom of priests. Exodus 19, verse 6. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and holy nation, meaning what? Separate. These are the words that, which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, right? So it's not just going to be, just Levi, because ultimately we're all going to be a priest. Okay, so that's pretty much it on that. Let's go a little bit more in Revelation 20.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 7, and it reads, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog, Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea.
Now, like I was saying, now when we read the scriptures, as it says, we got what? Rightly divide the word of truth. Now, verse 7 is going back to verse 3. All right? That little season is what's going on right now. Right? Verse 4 and verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6, that's talking about what the kingdom of heaven. Verse 3 and verse 7 is going on right now. That little season when he came after the Byzantine Empire during the Renaissance. Okay, so this is 1,000. So after 1,000 years of him being in hardcore slavery, him being in slavery during the Dark Ages, but then he would loose a little season. Once again, what's going on right now? So read that once again, Bible Kashah.
God,
verse 7.
God, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
All right, shall be loosed out of his prison. Once again, going back to verse 3 of Revelation 20. And it says, and cast him to the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Verse 3 of Revelation 20 and also verse 7 is the same thing. All right, going into what, the power that was given to Esau, Edom, to go out into to see the nations. Okay. And also it says, and shall go out to see the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them to battle, the number of whom is at the center of the sea, going to what? Russia. All right, this is going to World War III that we are vastly approaching, if you conceive it. Go ahead.
God, the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 9.
Okay, you got it.
Verse 9, and it reads, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about, and beloved city, and fire came down from the power out of heaven and devoured them.
Now he's speaking about the land of Israel. All right, war. Because war gonna be taking place where? In the Middle East. He's speaking about what war? World War III, the third woe. So that's what's coming. All right, go ahead.
God, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
All right, and the devil, this devil is speaking about the spiritual, it's like the physical counterpart of the demon Satan. All right, Esau, Edom. Devil, you go to what? False accuser, which he is. All right, always accusing Jacob of something. Okay. They had a field day with that Jake that stabbed a little Ukraine girl in the neck.
Yeah,
I believe it was in this area, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
She was on the speed rail.
Yeah, so like they were actually across the street from us. That Jake that stabbed the little Ukraine girl in the neck. Okay. Why? Because he is a false accuser. Damn. Got demons on him, man. Yeah. It then was cast to the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. All right. That beast, it goes to what? EU and NATO, false prophet, is a Roman Catholic Church and all the different religious denominations that have sprung from the Catholic Church. Right? So right here in Babylon the Great, this is going to be the greatest destruction. Okay? At the same way, Sodom and Gomorrah was looked at as what? As a monument. Right? So it's going to go up in smokes of what happens when you live ungodly. Shall be tormented day and night forever and ever for a very long time. Let's continue on.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20. And we're at verse 11, and it reads, And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face of the earth and heaven fled away, there was found no place for them. And I saw dead and small and great.
So Bible Shah Salaki, he said, and I saw a great white throne. This white throne goes into what? Yahweh Shai, right? Which is likened unto the white horse. I would grab in the book of Revelation 6 and verse 1. All right, so this is Yahweh Shai. White goes to what? Purity. Okay, coming by way of a chariot. This is Yahweh Shai ruling on earth. And him that sat on it, from who faced the earth into heaven, fled away, and there was no place, and there was found no place for them. All right, meaning what? Esau got to be taken out of power. That's 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 9 fulfilling. All right, for Esau is the end of the world. And Bible Kashah, stay in Revelation, but go Revelation chapter 11 and verse 12. We're almost finished. Revelation 11 and verse 12, and we'll read down to verse 18. Right? So once again, this is said no place found for them. Esau been taken out of power. The sword that Isaac, who is Yahweh Shai, you can receive it, bless them with, is going to be stripped from him.
There's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 12, and it reads, And they heard a great voice from the heaven, saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to the heaven in the cloud, and the enemies beheld them.
Right? The same way where it says in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, right? The strangeness of our salvation, us being beamed up in the chariots. And within us being beamed up in the chariots, right? Then you're going to have what? Destruction as well. So you're going to have brothers being beamed up and also the missiles hitting. Because it said that what? 1 Peter 4 and verse 12, the righteous shall scarcely make it. Go ahead.
The same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the power of heaven.
Yep. And now, what is going into this land right here, Babylon the Great? Go ahead.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 15, and it reads, And the seventh angel sounded, and there was a great voices in heaven saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of Adonai, and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever.
And he shall reign forever and ever. All right, now this is going to what? That white throne. This is Yahweh Shai reigning right here on earth. Headquarters, Jerusalem. But, we're going to inhabit different planets so you can receive it. Okay, go ahead.
And the 24 elders were sat before the power on their seats, fell upon their faces and worshiped the power.
The angels.
Saying, We give thee thanks, O Adonai, Adonai Yahweh, the power almighty, which art and waste and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and it has reigned.
And it has reigned. Okay, and also we're going to take the kingdom, right? Saints is going to take the kingdom, as it says in Daniel 7:25. As so this alluded to going back to Revelation 20, right? It was verse 11, right?
20 and 11.
Right, it was verse 20 and verse 11, but it's going back to that there was no place found for them. Why? Because Yahweh Shai is coming to take it, right? Any given day. Right, I don't right to die, it happens very, very, very soon, man. Go ahead, read a little bit more.
You look at Revelation chapter 11, verse 18, and it reads,
Yep.
And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, and they shall be judged, that thou shalt give reward unto thy servants and the prophets, to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
And should destroy it, would destroy the earth. So that's what's going on. And who destroyed the earth? going back to the book of Revelation 6 and verse 3, that red, that red horse, Esau, Edom, right? All this touching back off of Genesis 25, Genesis 27, Esau, Edom, and also other nations that, actually got drunk off this man's wine, meaning his philosophy. And also Jake's as well, because Jake had become just like the Edomites. John 8 verse 44, you are your father the devil. Yahweh shall speak to who? The Jews, the southern kingdom. Okay? And it says, I'm reading this. It said, the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants and prophets. The dead. As brothers say, like the Walking Dead, Proverbs 21 and verse 16. And also, Most High is going to have, certain people to come back and be what? Judged. Okay? It says, should give reward to thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints is the Israelites, and them that fear thy name, small and great, regardless with your status, your rank, all right? And should have destroyed them which destroyed the earth. Esau is the destroyer of the worlds. I believe that's in a movie of the Planet of the Apes, the 1961, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, where it said, I believe it's either that one or, no, it's the movie Oppenheimer, right? Where it said come destroy the world.
Oh,
Yeah, Oppenheimer. All right.
You come
destroy the world? Yeah. We go book Revelation 20 and verse 12 now.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 12, and it reads, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the power of Yahweh, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to the works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and the death and hell delivered up.
Hold on 1 second. He said, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. All right. So ultimately, this is going to what? Once again, regards to your status. Okay, you're gonna be what? Judged, whether fairly, or you're gonna be judged according to the wicked that you committed. And the books were open, the book of life. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. All right. So we understand that Proverbs 21 verse 16. And also, you got many of them that are going to be raised. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab it. Should be the book. Remember 1 second. Should be the book of Daniel, chapter 12. Yep. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life. Some to what? Some to everlasting life. All right, Jakes that did the will of Yahweh by Shema Shai, true sincerity. Even even our brothers that was may have been martyrs, that had to be put to that may have had to die. But ultimately they're gonna be the first ones on the chariots. Read 1 Thessalonians 4. Shall await some to everlasting life, salvation, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Right? And it says, because ultimately, once again, you're gonna have some of them that are gonna be put down. And also in the kingdom, they're gonna be what? Embarrassed. Marvel not at this. For hours, let's sit on that. Here it is, like you. John 5 verse 28, John 5:29, and shall come forth they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. All right, so this is showing you, it said the dead, small and great. So regardless what status you was, if you live contrary to the Most High gonna have them that gonna come to everlasting life, but then also them that is gonna be put down. So you're gonna be raised up just to suffer in that lake of fire.
That's right.
Right? It say everlasting what? Damnation for a period of time. Right? So that's it on that. And
back to Revelation 20.
Yeah, read 12 once again. Bible Kashai, we're almost finished.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 12, and it reads, and I saw the dead, and small and the great, stand before the power, and the books were open. Another book was open, was the book of life. And the dead was judged out of those things which were written in the books according to the works.
All right, and the dead were judged. As we grabbed earlier, I'll grab one more time. Daniel 7, verse 11. And I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spoke. I beheld even till the beast was slain. This horn going to what? The American Empire. All right, this is not the same horn in Daniel chapter 8. That horn in Daniel 8 is talking about the Grecians. Two difference. All right, majority of Daniel 8 has been fulfilled. Daniel 7 is what's going on right now. I beheld even till the beast was slain, EU and NATO, and his body destroyed and is given to the burning flame. As concerning the beast, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. For a season and a time. Okay, so ultimately them having what their life stripped away from them to be what servants and slaves. All right, so that's how you're gonna be what judged out of the book of life. Speaking to the heathens. All right, we're almost finished. And also, let's go to Revelation 19. I can get that one.
Let me get that one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty much it. Let's get Revelation 19, verse 5.
God. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 5, and it reads, and a voice came out of the throne, saying, praise our power, Yahweh, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great.
Both small and great, regardless, once again, regardless of your status, your rank. All right, ultimately, if you fear the Most High, then, hey, there you go. You got it? Keep on.
Okay, time. And I heard, as it were, the voice of great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, as the voice of many mighty thundering, saying, Hallelujah, out of one, the power omnipotent reigneth.
Reigneth, why? Because he's all powerful, right? As I've been going into, right? As we're going into all night, Surah 18 and verse 3, the palm of his hand, power in the palm of his hand. All, everybody that's ruling, ultimately, because it's the will of the Most High. That's the true power. Go ahead.
Come. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready.
And his wife had made herself ready. Think about who? Jeremiah 6 and verse 2. Jerusalem is likened to a comely and a delicate woman, making herself ready and rehearsing the righteous acts. Judges 5 and 11. I'm just quoting them. Okay? So that's what we're doing now. Rehearsing. Getting ourselves ready to be joined back, with Yahweh Shai. Right? Because ultimately, Yahweh Shai is dealing with us, man. All right? Not Yahweh. Okay? Go ahead.
Come. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 8, and it reads,
Yep.
To her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Going to what that royalty. Go ahead. Us being back in royalty.
And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they that which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb.
The elect, okay, 144,000, the remnants, Isaiah 10 and 21, them that was already preordained to receive those palms in their hands to be victorious. You got it.
It saith unto me, These are the true sayings of the power.
The Lamb is also Yahweh Shai, John 1 and 29. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10, and it reads, I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not.
Let's skip down. Let's go down to verse 11.
Come. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11, and it reads,
Yep.
I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True.
All right, touching back off of what we've been going into. The white horse, Revelation 6, what we grabbed in Revelation 20. Right, this is Yahweh Shai. White goes to what? Purity. Okay?
Come. And righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Okay, because ultimately, as we just read, right, it said that there was no place found for them. Because the Most High, Yahweh Shai, is coming to do what? Script. He's coming to take all power and rule away. No more heathen rulership. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 12. His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
All right, that goes into the rank.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of the Power.
All right, it's called what? The Word of the Power. Okay, because Yahweh Shai is the Word. The Word was what made flesh. All right, so let's get down. Grab two more, then we out. Let's go to Revelation 19 and verse 19. Let's get down 19. We're going to read all the way 21. That'd be pretty much it.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 19, and it reads, And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and the armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
So they're going to try to come up against Yahweh Shai. All right. But as we read in 2nd Edges 13, hey, Shalak Rayam to you damn devils. All right. But as we read in 2nd Edges chapter 13, right, they're going to be fearful, but most likely put a spirit on them to fight. Go ahead.
Gone. And the beast was taken with him, the false prophet that wrought miracles before him.
It's about the Catholic Church.
With which he deceived him that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. Though these both were cast alive in the lake of fire burning with brimstone.
It said received the mark of the beast of them that had worshipped. It says with he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. All right. You know, like we are going into Revelation 20 in verse 3, he will loose for a little season. To what? To bring bring about deception. Right? Go ahead.
Con. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 21, and it reads, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
All right. So this ultimately going to what? The great destruction. Right? The sword also goes to what? The missiles, and also the fire from the chariots. All right. Also the fire from the chariots. So let me read that ladder again. Bible Shah.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 21, and it reads, the remnant were slain with the sword of him, and sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
And all the fowls filled with their flesh. Right? You got what? Many dead bodies, and that's literal. Right? By gonna be what? Stacked upon each other. Okay, so that's good. So that's what's getting ready to happen, right? During Jacob's trouble, right? A mass destruction. No place, no more found for the heathen rulership. And let me grab this, and that'll be pretty much it. Revelation 20, verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whom faced the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. No more heathen rulership, right? The reason we went into Revelation 19. Just to show that Yahweh Shai is coming to do what? To make war, to take it. All right? No more heathen rulership. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Hey, to watch all you Malakim that hopped on and you Akwaft, we're going to face the east. We're already facing the east. We're going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hope for elect on the highway in Hedges, that making a body living sacrifice according to Romans 12 verse 1. Shalom to sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, a Bible ball, DTA. Shalom, Malakim. Hey, shalom to the Braka Bashanah. Shalom, Shalom. Tawam, la ilah.